Let's get the show on the road. So this is the first episode of the WhatsApp What's New. We're still deciding on the name podcast with we have Jaren here, Grandpa Kevin, Hayden, and me, Mason, the narrator for today's episode. Who influenced your music taste the most and how?
Wow. Who?
Mm.
Well,
Who?
so I'll tell you a bit of a story. I can tell you who by this little story I have, right? So when I was growing up, we lived in a town in Saskatchewan, Estevan. It had about 8,000 people, had a little AM radio station, was all you got. But my mom loved to sing. So I remember when I was about maybe 10, and they liked to party. So, not a lot different than 70 years later. But anyway, so they bought a cabinet stereo when I was about 10 years old. This was big this is like 1965, had a record player in it, AM FM radio, and a reel to reel. So if you really want to know where Canadian karaoke started at that moment. So we would stay awake at night listening to my mom and dad's friends singing into this reel to reel, and they would drink all night and we're singing to this reel to reel, and we'd get up in the morning as kids and we would just go back and play it and just kill ourselves laughing. So when we moved to Sherwood Park, we dragged this big cabinet with us, and we were the only ones in the whole block that had a reel to reel. And then we started messing around with it. And I think I was like maybe 13 when I moved there. And our whole life revolved around music and playing records and the reel to reel. And we got really good I don't think any of us were really good singers, but I think we got really good at singing. we knew all the words to all the songs. So if you want to know where I got my influence from and how and why, that would be it for me.
The reel to reel.
What kind of music were you guys listening to? What genres?
Well, in the 60s, there weren't many genres. So as an example, that's a good question. My mom listened to, I don't remember my dad particularly liking music much, but my mom listened to Doris Day. She listened to Dean Martin, that kind of genre.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember trying to sneak listens to some early rock music, some 60s band type music.
Yeah.
But they weren't very popular. If you can imagine a small town in 1960 something Saskatchewan with one AM station, it was mostly country.
Yeah.
Mostly talk show.
Was like rock kind of frowned upon in
Estevan? Yeah, especially bands with long hair.
Oh.
Yeah. and so remember too the time, how different the times were. And this is something I wanted to talk about on here, is we didn't have access to the pictures of the bands, to videos, or even to the words.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, and this is funny today, a lot of times the words were sort of made up. There's songs where you had no clue what that particular sentence or word was, and everybody made up their own version of it. And so, yeah, so we didn't have access to that. Rock was, when I was growing up, say when I was 15 in 1970, it was very structured, because if they had long hair, you weren't allowed to play it. My house wasn't bad because my mom had such a love for music, but she didn't like it being played loud, I can tell you that. And so some of my earliest, like when I was 15, I liked soft rock. I liked bubblegum songs. They were easy to sing to, easy to follow along with. They all had a kind of a message. But anyway, that's what I liked. And then as I got a little older, I tried to shift more in, because all my friends were listening to heavier type rock. I tried to shift over to there, and I never really never really liked it all that much. I went back. I still go back to the, as you guys could tell from my music libraries, the
Yep.
60s and 70s stuff is really, really near and dear.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. All right.
Jason, how about you?
I was gonna ask you. For me, it's definitely like a little bit of everyone from the family. I want to say like, let's see here. Definitely a lot from Grandpa Kevin with the old stuff. I have like over 10 hours of music from him. Definitely Jaren from car rides and whenever from when I was younger. Definitely Mom with the like 21 Pilots, Good Charlotte, all that stuff. And then from the cabin too, whenever Uncle Kyle or anyone was playing music at the cabin, I got that music from there.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so I like a little bit of everything except country because that's not in our family. But yeah, there's a lot of variety in my music taste from everywhere in the family that I get it from. So
Lots of
Yeah.
influence. Yeah.
lots of influence for me.
I was gonna say pretty much the same thing. Like a lot of different people, but same thing. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Going
It's
to the
funny
cabin,
too.
it would be like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Sublime, like the Tragically
Oh
Hip.
yeah.
Whereas when we were at home with Mom, whenever she'd be cleaning or whatever, she'd be blasting like Good Charlotte and all of her favorite bands. But the funny thing is that she actually hates the Tragically Hip. So whenever we started listening to our own music and playing our songs, whenever the Tragically Hip song came on, she'd be like, "Oh my God, turn this garbage off. I hate the Tragically Hip, and I know exactly where you started listening to it."
Your dad loves it.
It's funny how it all just kind of contrasts and comes together. And we created our own music library out of obviously people in our family.
Yeah. Hayden?
My answer is pretty similar to Mason's, except yeah, I mostly got it from Mom and also quite a bit from Mason, just from whenever we'd be driving around, like he'd be driving me places or we're on the highway or something.
Home from
We're just
school.
blasting music. Yeah, I feel like I got a lot of my music taste from that, and then just Mom, because growing up, she'd always be playing her music, and I got a lot of my music from there. So,
Well, and Hayden, you know what's funny is you don't share those music interests with us a lot. Like Mason and Jaren are really, and me, we're very vocal about our music and which ones we like. You never seem to get caught up in the discussions or the playlists or this or that. You just sort of go along. Would that be fair? Like you're not. You're
yeah,
sort of,
yeah, I'd say that. It's just like,
it's not as important to you as us, maybe.
uh,
He just goes with the flow.
lately, like the last year, music has definitely like grown into me quite a bit. So I
See
feel
that?
like as I grow older, I'll definitely want to be in those conversations a bit more.
I
But
feel
yeah,
like in the last year he's just started to finally start actually paying attention to the band names and song names and singing
yeah,
along.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hayden used to not like music, and we'd always be like, "What the heck, Hayden?"
Well, I wouldn't say I didn't like music. I just like,
Didn't really care for it
Yeah.
yeah,
as much as
yeah.
Took him a while to get into it, and
As opposed to the rest of us who picked it up real early.
yeah,
Well,
I was a
did
late bloomer.
you guys ever, and I know the answer to this, but just for the podcast sake, did you guys ever like drive around and play what's that song and name that tune in two notes or something? Like
oh, I do that all the time.
every song that comes on the radio, we had to, like, you had to name the artist and you had to name the song title. and you could, and that was in 1964, that type of thing, right?
I do that all the time.
Mason's so good at it.
Yeah, I will give my phone sometimes to my friends and be like, "Here, skip through my playlist and I'll name the song in like 5 seconds," and then they'll go through the playlist and I'll be like, "Oh, that's that one. That's that artist."
I do
Yeah,
the same thing.
I go even a step further, and before like any lyrics are sang or whatever, I'll say
Start
the
singing.
lyrics,
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
and I try and get it like word for word every time.
I know where you got that from. Your mom got that from me, because we challenged her all the time, her and Jamie. Yeah. I think it's cool that you're kind of showing off a little when you do that too.
Yeah.
If
Like
you get
for
it
me,
wrong, it's really embarrassing.
Yeah.
No, that's right. For me, I
Highest high
remember,
reward.
so as I'm growing up, as I get to be kind of your age or Hayden's age, when I started going to the bar, it was one way. Every song that came on the jukebox or every band that ever played, I seemed like I knew the words to it. And so I don't know how many comments I had growing up. Like, how do you know all these words? How do you know all these songs? And so people would always come to me, because we didn't have access to videos. We didn't have access to the words to the songs or that kind of thing. They would always come to me as a teenager and into my 20s and go like, how do you know all this stuff? Nobody can know all them songs. And I knew most of the words to almost every song that I heard. And I even had a bit of an old country stage where I went through. I didn't really like the newer country stuff, but there was some stuff from the 60s and 70s, like Chris Christopherson and stuff, that I really liked. So I had this wide range of music interests that I seemed like I knew every word to every song. And that's a slight exaggeration, but not very much.
That reminds me of when, like, a couple years ago, even Mom was surprised because I listen to a lot of old music, obviously, and even Mom was like, "How do you know these songs? Like, where do you find these?" I'm like, "Well, it runs in the family, I guess."
Off my playlist.
Yeah, exactly.
And then of course, when music videos came out and the ability to see your favorite bands playing, and you could look up the words to the
Yeah.
to the songs, right? Which you never, I see you now, whenever you're singing a song off the playlist, you're always bringing up the words to it on your phone, which
Sometimes.
is sort of
Sometimes.
cheating in a way.
Cheating, yeah.
If it's a song I don't know all the words to, but then like at your birthday at Uncle Brian's, because we were playing because you guys were requesting songs, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I know this one, I'll sing it, but I didn't know all the words, so that's when I pulled up the lyrics.
No,
but then
that's
like
fair. That's fair.
yeah, but then the
Like I
songs
said,
I did know.
I didn't have that when I was growing up.
Yeah,
I just made stuff up as I went.
You have to start making it up.
that's true.
Yeah, but no, because now people can check on you. See,
Yeah.
in those days, nobody could refute what you were singing, right?
Was there a song where you sang and made up your own lyrics because you didn't know, and then once you were able to see the lyrics, you were like, oh, I got that way off?
Oh yeah, I was. You know what's funny? I was. Manfred Mann song. It wasn't Quinn the Eskimo. I forget which song it is. Like, it was so wrong. It wasn't me. I read an article on it that said even people that sang it, like, professionally, got some of the words wrong.
Oh.
So there was that one in there. What was another? There was another really common one where the whole entire earth got the words wrong to that song, and I
Oh gosh.
don't remember it. But yeah, there was probably a lot. I mean, there was a lot where I probably missed a word or two because maybe the sound quality wasn't great or my sound quality wasn't great. But there's some really that were just, you had no clue.
Yeah, it probably didn't help back in the day either when the quality was just atrocious.
Exactly.
Can't even understand any of the lyrics.
You're listening to an AM radio
Yeah,
that's half the size of your phone today with a tinny little speaker in it, right?
yeah, exactly.
And then another thing you said a little bit ago when you were talking about your reel to reel was when you were like sneakily listening to rock.
Yeah.
And one of my other questions is, what music? Well, you already answered this, but what music did you hide from your family when you were younger that you were listening to? And for me, I wasn't really hiding it, but I would listen to Eminem, like the explicit songs, when I was like really young,
I
and
remember this.
I remember mom texting me. She's like, "What are you listening to?" And I'm like, "Eminem." She's like, "Make sure you're not listening to the ones with swear words." I'm like, "I'm not," but
I would never do that.
I remember
was.
that exactly.
so
That's funny.
yeah.
I didn't even
I-
have to hide that. Mom would play that in the car, and I'd be singing along to it.
Well, what the heck? We got different treatment, I guess.
And
Mom learned her lesson.
Jaron, you never told her once to quit playing that song in front of you?
No, I didn't mind.
No judging. There was no judging, right?
I was just absorbing in it all. I didn't mind at all. Unless, yeah, and then for the country stuff, as soon as the country song would come on, she was
Nope.
Nope.
No
Switch,
country.
switch.
Ooh.
That's a definitely a heavy influence for I think most of us.
Yeah.
Hating,
Country.
hating
Yeah,
on the country.
definitely.
Is
Country
Hayden a
listen to it.
country guy?
No, I definitely
No.
cannot listen to country.
There you go.
I like get super dramatic whenever I hear country. Like, oh,
Dramatic.
my ears, they're bleeding.
There you go. I'm the same for a lot of it, but Grandma Shirley's got to listen to some country. But it's funny how we've all sort of not exactly aligned in the music taste, but pretty much in the same. We're kind of on the same pathway for music. We don't seem to want to go out on a limb too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I'll admit,
commonality.
like I've been to 2 George Strait concerts, and that's as country as you can possibly get. So
Did you enjoy it at least? I feel like being at a concert is definitely
Different.
more enjoyable than just listening to it on the radio. Like,
That
if
would
you're
be
gonna listen to
correct.
country, then at least listen to it live. You know,
I would agree.
You can appreciate it more. You see the band up there.
Yep. And you're part of the crowd, right?
Exactly.
You're just part of that crowd that's enjoying themselves, and you don't want to be like this. Well, I don't want to be here. Kind of. I drove all the way to Las Vegas to see him when he opened up the new T-Mobile Arena there. So, a 2-week vacation to go see George Strait. Not, but
Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it?
I did. Yeah, I actually don't mind some of his songs, and quite frankly, and this is a question I want everybody to kind of answer is, do you use songs and music as a timepiece in your life? So are there events in your life that you go back and sort of, what was I listening to, or what music was playing when that event happened, or what genre, like when you were 8 or 10 years old, do you remember what you were listening to? Or do you back, like, are there, because people always say, oh, you knew where you were when so and so was killed, or this major world event happened. What about musically, right?
I think whenever I hear a song that I will listen to in the past, it brings me back to that time. Like an Eminem song, for example. I remember when "Lose Yourself" came out. It brought me to, like, whenever I hear it, it just has
exactly where you were in time.
Like a sense of nostalgia. It brings me back to my youth.
Well, no, but you know exactly how old you were, or roughly how old you were. You knew possibly what point in your life you were at, right, when you heard that song.
Yeah, exactly. Or there's like a Black Eyed Peas song where it brings me back to living in Sherwood Park, I guess.
Yeah, that actually happened to me. I have the same thing where, like, if I hear a song that I heard like at a certain time, I'll like it's like a feeling in my like gut or whatever where I'm like, whoa, I felt like it like put me back, like the same feeling I was then. Like there's a couple songs from like the summer of 2023 that I'll hear and I'll be like, whoa, and it'll put me back into like there. And then there's a lot of old songs, well, like songs that I listened to a while ago where I'm like, I get like memories of. But my playlist, like I have one big playlist of every single song I know and listen to. So I have like I can basically see like how my music taste has changed over the years. So I started this playlist in 2019 and it has over 2,000 songs, so I can like see how
Yep.
it's changed over the course of time.
Wow.
Something similar to that. I have a playlist. I think it started in 2015 when 2014, and it's like summer playlist from 2015. But I make a new playlist every summer, so I've had them going back since 2015, and it has like those songs that I've been listening to for that whole summer or that year, I guess even.
Oh.
So then I can go back into that playlist and see what kind of music I was listening to that year.
So you
So it's kind
date
of
you
I
date
date-
that playlist.
I do, and it's kind of fun to go back into those earlier ones and be like, wow, this is the kind of music I was listening to. I still listen to some of the songs, but some of the songs I'll forget, and when I go back into those playlists, I'll be like, oh yeah, like actually, why did I stop listening to this? And it also brings me back into that like that summer or
Whatever summer it was.
Yeah.
whatever summer. That's
Hayden?
what I like to do, and I still do it to this year. Okay, I
Wow,
have a
that's cool.
2026 summer playlist.
That's cool.
Should start doing that.
Yeah. I definitely get that feeling though. Like if I hear a song, it like takes me like back to like a certain memory or like time in my life. I feel like most notably though, 21 Pilots album Blurry Face, just from whenever mom would drive us from Edmonton to Calgary, she would play a lot of songs from that playlist, and whenever I hear like I don't know, let's just say like the song Stressed Out, it just like pops me into that memory almost. And it's like, yeah. And then also same with Mac Miller for whenever Mason and I were younger and we'd drive with you, Jaren.
Hmm.
Like you'd drive us around and you'd be playing Mac Miller. Same thing happens there. So yeah, there's like a lot of different songs that take me like that, like pretty much like time travels me pretty much.
Yeah, I was saying last night when mom was putting on that album from 21 Pilots, I was like, man, I remember exactly when this came out because I was in summer school going to gym, and we were living with Uncle Jamie. That was my grandma's old place in Brentwood
Yep.
there.
Yep.
So I would longboard to school like during the summer because it was summer gym class just to get it over with. And that album came out, and that's all I would listen to in my headphones, like longboarding there and back. So whenever I hear any songs from that album, it just takes me back to longboarding on a sunny day in the summer of 2015.
That's cool. But that's what I meant by posing that question, right? Because it does do that, doesn't it? Not
Yeah.
only that, how about the words? Like the reason I love music so much is every song is an independent story from somebody about something. Some of them might be a little more deep than others, or some might be about like their life experiences. But those songs, every word in those songs is somebody's interpretation of what's going on or what's happening around them. So I use a lot of those words, and I don't know if you guys do the same thing. There are lines from songs that I wish I'd have thought of that. Oh, but don't you see that, right? Like they don't even have to be intelligent, but they can be meaningful. They can be an icebreaker to a friend or a girl. Those, like, there's a lot of, especially this type of music I listen to, where it's very easy to listen to soft rock. It's easy to to go through the story. And you look at a song like, Pina Colada song, and you go, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Yeah.
You left your girlfriend and met your girlfriend, and you both thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just somebody's. So that's really what I get the most out of music is I get, a lot of the music can be not easy to dance to or not easy to sing. If you look at American Pie by Don McLean, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, a 6 or 7 minute song, or probably 8 with the additional song. That's not a danceable song, and it's not something, but it's a catchy ditty that everybody sort of understands, the words to, or understands, puts themselves, hey, that's a song I can identify with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say 80% of the music I listen to is for the lyrics. Maybe
Correct.
70 to 80 is like for the lyrics, and then the other percent is like it just like sounds good and it gets me
Right.
dancing or whatever. But yeah, I love like listening, or like now that I can look at the lyrics, I love looking at the lyrics and analyzing the lyrics and be like, oh, that's like relatable to me or whatever.
I think it's 50-50 for me. I like the instruments a lot in music, but lyrics do definitely help. And just being a big music player myself, I'll listen to the instruments first. If it's a song that I haven't heard before, listen to the instruments first and like kind of analyze that aspect, like the drums all the way to the bass. Like I just love listening to the instruments and seeing how different bands or musicians kind of manipulate their instruments.
Let's be very
I'll go
clear.
back and listen to the lyrics or even read through them, and then if those resonate with me, then I'm adding this to my playlist.
Let's be very clear about the 4 of us in here. You're the only one who's ever played an instrument before. Well, no, I played in the school band. I played drums in the school band 1 year. So
I played the recorder in grade like
well, yeah,
6.
I think everyone did.
that doesn't even count.
You're forced to play the recorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish I knew an instrument,
Me too.
like electric guitar or something.
You can play an electric guitar at 19 years old. You can learn.
Oh, I know.
You
I
don't
feel
have
like
to.
instruments are like it's not like a sport or something. You could like even start it when you're like 40 or something, and you'll be able to still get like good at it. It's not like a sport
Gonna
where you have to be like starting
15
young.
minutes a day. All
Yeah.
you need.
It's about the practice.
Yeah, so it's 50-50.
For me, I'd say just depends where I am, what I'm doing. Like if I'm driving in the car, I feel like lyrics definitely kind of hit harder. But if I'm like at the gym or something, I can't even pay attention to the lyrics, so it's just like bunch of noise getting me going sort of thing. But yeah, definitely when I'm in the car, I like pay attention to the lyrics a lot more.
That's a good point, isn't it? Sometimes you just want to hear music. You don't want to have to think about the words.
Yeah, just depends on the atmosphere.
You know,
for
if you're
sure.
out riding your bike, or if you're at the gym, or you're doing something you don't want to be encumbered by all
Mhm.
the words. You just want to hear
Yeah.
some.
Like studying, like when you're like doing homework or whatever, you can't be focusing on the lyrics because that'll just make the studying or homework aspect a lot harder. So just like having the music as like background noise.
That's where classical music comes into play. There's no
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's right.
it's just the instruments.
And you listen to classical, or Ken?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I enjoy it.
Cool.
Yeah, I have to be in a mood for it though. I can't just
Yeah. There's certain moods for different genres that I have to be in to listen to.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of a question for this, but For me, I have like a whole bunch of different playlists with specific songs that put me in a certain mood or match a certain like atmosphere I'm in. So like I have a cabin playlist for the cabin. I have a winter playlist for like songs that are a little bit like slower and like give me a certain like feeling. And then I have like a playlist for when I'm out camping or in the nature. I have a fall playlist. I have just like a whole bunch of different playlists for different moods. And like, yeah, do you guys have like music that you will like puts you in different moods? Or
Yeah.
do you put on certain songs to like if you're feeling like down or sad, do you have certain songs that'll like get you out of that and like lift you up?
I definitely have a couple different playlists for different like environments, I guess, that I'm in.
Situations.
Yeah, situations. So obviously, I have like a driving playlist, a gym playlist, a studying playlist, just stuff like that. I wouldn't really say I have any playlists that like relate to like my mood or like the time of year, I guess. Well, I also have like a Christmas playlist too. But
Yeah.
um I like if I'm like in a certain mood, I'll just like skip to certain songs or like cue certain songs, but I wouldn't I'm honestly just too lazy to create my own playlist for that, if I'm gonna be completely honest. So I just have all my songs in like a certain area and I'll just like queue a bunch up and there I go.
What about you, Grandpa?
Fair
Do
enough.
you have playlists, or do you just kind of put your music on shuffle?
Well, haven't you guys stolen all my playlists already? You should know.
Yeah.
I've got I've got I like what Hayden said though, because there are certain songs even on a playlist. So I've got a pool playlist, right? What do
Yeah.
you suppose that was from the acreage when we're all sitting around the deck around the swimming pool, and there's only certain music that should be played around a swimming pool, right? And
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
don't want to be playing some deep song that so I've got, and then I don't know where this saying came from, but Grandma Shirley named one of mine Hokey Pinoky because she said you have the hokiest playlist I've ever heard in my life. She said there's there is sort of bubblegum songs on there that nobody else in the world would even begin to listen to. And those, I think Mason likes a lot of the ones on there too.
I
So
do. I have that playlist.
so yeah, but even within that playlist, like I've got songs in there that if I'm not in the right mood, if I'm driving and I'm not in the right mood, I can skip 90% of the playlist. I'm also really, really huge on playing songs over and over again that I like.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know,
Me too.
in the old days when we used to have a record and people would say, like, you could wear that one song out if you had an album with 10 songs on one side. You could, I don't know if it's possible, but I would just go back and I would reset the needle on that one song and then play it and then reset the needle. And I still do that today. So I've got like Sirius XM in my car, and I've got, I'm tuned to 60s, 70s, 80s, the bridge, so some soft rock and some other things. But there are days when I just feel like flipping through there because I don't like any of the songs that are on there. So I'll go to my playlist. I'll go to my phone and go to my playlist on my phone because it's comfortable. I know that I don't have to skip through 90% of them because I don't like the songs, because all the songs on there I've put there for a reason, right? So
Yeah.
what about you, Jer?
Yeah, I agree. I started to want to listen to albums in their entirety, like having a record player and records now. Like you kind of have to listen to album front to back. So I started doing that a lot more with the music on my phone as well. So I'll just put one album on and I'll listen to it start to finish. And I find that you can start to see where the artist is coming from. Because the whole album, most of the time, they're trying to tell a story, right?
Correct.
Start to finish. So I don't know. I like doing that as of late. That's my kind of go-to. But for playlists, I'll like if I'm at the gym, I have a gym playlist, or if I'm driving, then I'll just put on kind of a random thing. But when I'm at home, I just like listen to them from front to back most of the time, and I can find albums that match my mood even.
What's your favorite band, you guys? So if you had,
If we had to pick.
no, if you had to, let's say you had to pick a band that you were going to go see that you haven't seen yet, or maybe you have.
Oh,
Maybe you've seen. Maybe you're like me. I've seen Collective Soul like 8 times. So, and that's not 60s or 70s music. They're just a band that I can just truly identify with. So have you got something like, or is it 21 Pilots for you? Is
not
that
me.
No?
That's
Oh,
That's
Hayden,
fair.
you're muted.
Oh, that's Hayden.
Hayden, yeah.
I
What
don't know
about
if he
you,
knows
Jared?
he's muted.
And I've seen a handful of them. I would love to see Mac Miller live. He's one of my all-time favorites, but unfortunately, he passed away. So
Oh, there goes
really
that.
didn't. I guess one of the bands that I like to see that's still live would be a band called Arctic Monkeys.
Oh, that's my answer.
Well, now you guys can go together.
They're a British band. And they're pretty sweet. They've been around since I think 2005.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was my answer. That's one of my tattoos is their
Oh, yeah,
band
right.
logo. Yeah.
That's right. I
And
remember that.
they are making new music now. I just saw like an update recently. They're putting a song out in a charity album, and it's an unfinished song from their AM album, and which is like their most popular one. And there's rumors they might be making a full album and going on tour in like 2026, 2027. So I hope they go on tour because that's the one band that I really want to see. But yeah, because I've seen 21 Pilots and that was great. And I definitely would want to go see them again because they're good performers and good singers.
What are you guys seeing in Montreal?
Good Charlotte,
Oh, right.
which is also going to be really sweet.
I saw them at a festival in Vegas.
Yeah,
Really
the festival I didn't get to go to.
Oh yeah, right. Hayden, what's your take?
Did you hear? Were you here for the question?
Yes, yeah. I would honestly, just because it was like so memorable,
21 Pilots.
was 21 Pilots. And when we went to that concert, that's kind of like I had just started appreciating music a lot more, like right before we went to the concert. So I kind of wish we'd be able to go again, so I'd be able to like even appreciate it even more, because I feel like going to that concert was like definitely a highlight in my life.
Opened your eyes. That was your first concert too.
Yeah, so just like the way they performed, it was like definitely
and you've never seen
magic.
before.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was just like amazing. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing, and I'm very lucky to be one of the people that have witnessed something like that, because it was
It's
just like,
amazing.
Well,
yeah.
Jaron touched on something a little while ago that just sort of reinforces that when he said, what is there a different feeling when you're at a concert as opposed to listening to it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like Hayden sounds like he kind of fell in love with concerts, and he's only you know, he's not even 18. He's got a whole lifetime ahead of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so just before we got on this, I just quickly printed or wrote down some of the concerts I've been to. Excuse me. So as I said, I like Collective Soul. I think I've seen them 8 times.
Whew.
We saw them in Red Rocks in Denver. We saw them in a couple of U.S. locations. Vegas, we saw them. But I've seen Burton Cummings, and then I've seen the Guess Who. I've seen Coldplay, Aerosmith, Rolling Stones, Bryan Adams, George Thorogood, Paul McCartney, Rod Stewart a couple times, Chilliwack, Paul Revere and the Raiders, which is like obviously a 60s, 70s, Dr. Hook, George Strait a couple times, Bob Seger, John Fogerty, Matchbox 20, John Mellencamp, The Killers, Michael Bublé, Tom Cochrane, 5440, and the Trues. So
That's a good list.
Out of all of those, which one was your top number one?
number one, well, there's two. Collective Soul at Red Rocks is the most amazing venue in the world. And if somebody ever tells you to go to Red Rocks in Denver, Colorado, doesn't matter who's playing, go. That experience to me was the best ever, the best venue, the best place.
The sound is really good there, I heard.
The what?
Sound quality.
Well, and it's all natural. It's got 80 or
it's the
100-foot
amphitheater.
rocks.
Yeah.
And they used to, in the early 1900s, they used that venue. Opera singers from around the world came there to test their voices and to test music and stuff. But I think the concert it would be Paul McCartney probably. You know, it was 10 years ago. He'd have been in his 70s. He sang for 3.5 hours. He never left the stage in 3.5 hours. He gave his band a break, and he did piano solos for half an hour. Well, I don't know how he didn't go to the washroom in 3.5 hours, but that's a different story completely. That was
crazy.
And if you listen, if you're an old Beatles fan, or even if you're not, it was a whole book of his music from 1965 to 2015. So covered 50 years of music. So it was a pretty incredible concert.
That was actually the latest vinyl that I got, was Paul McCartney and the Wings.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my recent purchases.
Jaron, what's your favorite concert?
Oh boy, I've also been to a handful. I'll list them off first. So I've been to my first ever concert was Green Day when I was 7. And I think I went to Green Day, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I've seen Lady Gaga, so I've seen, like Modest Mouse. At the festival there was Green Day, Blink-182, Good Charlotte, a whole bunch of other bands that I can't remember off the top of my head. I did go to another festival when I was 12 that had Linkin Park and Young the Giant and Silverstone Pickups. And then I went to a Cage the Elephant concert 2 years ago, I think, which had Young the Giant as well opening for them. I've seen 21 Pilots twice now. I think my top is definitely the festival that we went to in Vegas, just because of the atmosphere, being surrounded by that many people, everybody enjoying the same music at the same time was a pretty incredible experience. But and the variety of bands that were playing was pretty nuts. But for just single concerts, I'd say the Cage Elephant and Young the Giant was pretty up there. But I mostly went to see their opening band, which was the Young the Giant, and then Cage the Elephant played after their headlining. But that was pretty exciting. And that was at Rogers Place.
I was there too.
And that was the first floor, the first floor seats that I had ever purchased. So me and Hannah were on the floor, and it's pretty neat being like that close to the stage. We were pretty much right up front.
Wow.
So seeing a band that you listened to since you were young that close was pretty cool. Yeah.
Lucky. How many
What about
concerts have
you?
I been to?
What about
I've-
you, Mace?
The first concert I went to was Blink 182 with mom. And
It was also
then what was right after that?
Didn't you do Cage the Elephant after that?
Yeah, I guess the next one was Cage the Elephant, which is the one Jaren was at, but I was with my friends. And then Cage the Elephant. I saw Hozier, 21 Pilots, and then I saw two bands in Australia. I saw Tom Odell and the Wallows, and then I saw Modest Mouse. And I think that's it. My favorite, Tom Odell in the Sydney Opera House was pretty great. The orchestra, live orchestra there was like mind-blowing. Except it was really fancy, like everyone was in suits, sitting down, no one was singing. So it was a completely different atmosphere to what I was
Very
used to.
formal.
Very formal concert, but the music was amazing. So I don't know if that would be number one, only because I wasn't allowed to sing and stuff and
Oh.
do all the stuff you should
Oh,
do at a
no.
concert. But they also didn't allow you to record the concert, but I did anyway, sneakily. But my top,
you
It-
recorded the whole concert.
almost the whole concert.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves ever. Like, just enjoy the moment.
Well, when I'm
I-
recording, I'll have it like I'll still be watching with my eyes, not through the phone.
I don't care. I hate that. I'll record maybe one song, the band that I really like, but I think it's more memorable if you're just enjoying
Maybe.
being present.
My
mean,
favorite
no-
would probably be 21 Pilots, just because of how like crazy the performance was, and it was a band I've been listening to my whole life, and I finally got to see them like in person. So
And it was in Vegas.
and it was in Vegas.
Yeah, well, that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, so that was
And
pretty
we already
sweet.
know which Hayden's was because he's only been to one. So-
Yeah,
No, I've been to Modest Mouse as well.
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
Theirs was a bit underwhelming, more so because the quality was kind of like the sound quality wasn't as good as I thought it would be.
Yeah, and they
And
didn't play
play-
Dramamine.
They didn't play as many songs as like their popular songs. They didn't play too much of those, which I'm fine with because I know their catalog pretty well. But the rest of the guys, I don't think did.
I did.
So I wanted to tell this little. I think you guys have probably heard this, but I think for the sake of this this podcast, it's kind of an interesting story. I think it was about 20 years ago, and I think I was listening to a song on the radio, and I said to your mom, "Oh, that's my favorite song. That's Jody by Joey Gregorish." You've heard that story, right? So-
I think maybe.
Unbeknownst to me, she reached out to Joey Gregorish and asked him. And of course, this is just the start of the internet. So I think I can't remember if she actually wrote him a physical letter or not. And she said, my dad said when he was growing up, Jody was his favorite song, and he loved that idea. So he mixed a CD for me right from his master tapes of about, I think there's 6 or 8 songs on that master that he mixed for me and sent it to me. And it was the greatest thing ever. Not only that he would do that, but because it was kind of my favorite song. And Joey Gregorish, he grew up in Winnipeg. He he still lives in Winnipeg to this day. I think he's probably close to 80 now. He he wrote songs for Neil Young and he played with the Guess Who. So he was part of that Winnipeg 60s, mid 60s culture of music it's amazing that Winnipeg could just have so many bands come out of there. But like the song Down by the River that Neil Young made famous was written by Joey Gregorish. There's the wedding song that I tried to play for Hannah the other day that we never got to play, but sort of, he wrote that the night he was going to be best man at his best friend's wedding. He wanted to write a special song for them. So he wrote a song called I think it's called The Wedding Song, but it's the most played wedding song on earth today. And it has been for 20 years. So, but it was quite interesting that he sent me, and I still have that CD to this day that's got, like, it's right off of his masters. So that's kind of an interesting thing, but it's also how music sort of can connect people too, right? But without that, I would have never met him, or actually I talked to him on the phone, but I never physically met him. But it could connect people that way in ways that most other things don't do. So it's kind of a neat story that your mom even sort of thought, well, my dad would really love to hear from Joey Gregorish. So, so I did. And it was, it's kind of a cool story.
That is sweet. I don't know if very many artists would do that today, because there's
no.
Definitely not.
I can't imagine
No.
that they would take the time to do that. No.
Ooh,
But now, remember, with the internet now and with all this stuff, access to social media, they probably get millions of requests. Joey Gregorish, let's be honest here, would not have got a ton of requests back in 2000 for a list of his songs, because there probably isn't 30 people in Canada whose favorite song was Jody. So
I have a pretty good question now. If you were theoretically, if you were to have a conversation with any artist, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
Either. Like, if you could just think of any artist that you would just want to have a conversation with, who do you think it would be?
It would be John Lennon, in my mind, without a doubt. Without a doubt, it would be John Lennon.
Mason, how about you?
Oh, I have to think. You go first.
Good question. Why do you choose John Lennon?
Why? Well, first of all, because of all the Beatles, he was my favorite. And right at the time when the Beatles were breaking up, he was starting to, well, he always had this sort of this world of world peace. Today, people think it was a little jaded, but at the time, he just, he wanted world peace, but he was very intellectual. He knew what he wanted in this world, and he knew what he wanted to change the world. And when he was assassinated, he was right in the sort of really, really starting to come out with some good music again. He'd been in sort of a recluse for a few years. So but when the Beatles broke up, he had some really, really philosophical views of life and music and the world. And I think at that point in time, I was, maybe in my early 20s. Yeah, I was in my early 20s. And I kind of aligned with kind of his views. And I really, really liked his music. Some of it, if you listen to today, probably is kind of odd for my music tastes. But anyway, it was just a feeling for me.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'd say Mac Miller for me.
Really?
Kind of the same vibes. He had a philosophical. I don't even know how to put this in. Like, just wanted peace, I guess, too. He's a very peaceful guy, and not only did he rap slash sing, but he was also a producer. He produced everything pretty much himself, from the drums to the bass, like did everything himself. He wasn't just a vocalist; he's an instrumentalist as well.
And he's no longer here on the planet?
No, and he was really, really talented musician at such a young age. He died when he was 26, actually,
Oh, wow.
and he put out some pretty amazing music. Which
That's your age.
I know. That's
Yeah.
my age. I'll recommend you an album to you once this is over.
Okay.
You can listen to
Oh.
front to back.
Yep.
It was it's his posthumous album that I'll recommend to you.
Yeah.
So it was released after he died, but you can kind of get the vibes from
Sure.
that, and then
Sure.
go down the rabbit hole.
There you go.
Oh,
So Mason, you're up.
Do you want me to
I-
go first, or
I think I have an answer.
okay?
I think, well, actually, I'm kind of torn, but I want to say Eminem because he just seems like a, he's just he's like a, how do I describe it?
Super down to earth.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Down to
Oh, yeah,
earth.
definitely.
And, he's been through a lot of stuff, obviously. And I feel like, having a conversation with him, like through all the stuff he's been through and how he's got through it all would be like an interesting conversation to have and just to like,
Just rap.
yeah. But at the same time, there's a lot of documentaries and like articles and everything that already like kind of goes through that,
Mhm.
which is why I'm like kind of torn. But I think I still would just want to like have a conversation with him, and he's
Normal
funny too.
conversation.
Yeah,
Have a normal conversation. You don't really need to even ask him about his life because that's already
But-
he's already
yeah.
been through that a million times.
just like
Documentaries and interviews.
a real conversation with Eminem.
What would you ask him? What would you talk about?
Oh man, that's a whole different question in itself.
That would be like
Uh,
a podcast where if you were sitting with, and Eminem was me on the other side, you would probably be a little nervous to start with. And what would you ask him? Well, it depends if you had time to think of it, if you wrote down,
Yeah.
whether it was impromptu, right? But it would be just an amazing conversation to keep going, right? And you would, just like this has sort of got a dynamic feel to it where it just grows and grows and grows. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I feel like one of my questions would be how, or man, this is hard. I'd have to think really good about this, but like, how do you keep going in pursuit of your like dreams, like even when the whole world is against you? Like, how do you just stay in the right mindset to keep going?
He's not afraid, man. He's just
Oh.
not afraid.
Yeah.
Well, the whole
Sometimes
world
you
was,
Sometimes you just got to lose yourself.
yeah, exactly, in the music. And the whole world was against him right from day one. So I don't know that he ever knew any other life than that, right?
That's true.
So when you ask him how do you just keep going, his answer would be, but that's all I've ever known. I don't think of it as keeping going. I think of it as just living. Right?
I guess, yeah, that's true. Thank you, Eminem, for answering my question.
Hey, no problem. Lose yourself.
Who's your other artist?
I was gonna say the lead singer of 21 Pilots, Tyler Joseph, because I've seen a lot of like interviews with him, and he seems just like a really fun guy to be around, which is yeah. But Eminem, I think, would be my first answer.
Hayden, how about you?
Mason, you are definitely in my head. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, the reason why I said, do you just want me to go first? Because I knew you were gonna say Eminem as well. And when we asked you what you would ask, I was like, okay, they might ask like something similar to me. So it's just like, what would keep you going after all this stuff happens to you? So I don't know. You're just in my head. But anyways, yeah, I completely agree with what Mason said. Just kind of what keeps him going, even though he's like had such a hard life, but he's been able to like stand up every single time, no matter what happens. It's just like super interesting, and I just want to sort of know how he's able to do it, because I feel like that would just be like an impossible thing to do.
Well, the Eminem here already answered.
Yeah, exactly.
The Eminem here would also say, and I'm not speaking for him, is that it's in his music. If you really want to know how live in his shoes or live in his head, just go listen to his music.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
there's no other way to define him other than to say everything that he's ever thought of is in his music. Every thought, every feeling he's ever had in his life is in his music.
Very true.
So what's one album that you would want to recommend to us, Grandpa, to listen to
Ooh.
after this?
Full album.
Would it be different for each of us, or would it be the same?
I mean, obviously,
Maybe not even album, but maybe artists, if it's easier.
I would just I like 1960s music because it's again, it's telling a story. It's new. Nowadays, it just seems like there's so much of everything. The whole world has just got with all of the technologies and social medias. I liked 60s music, and I keep going back to it, or even up to the mid 70s, because it's new. And nobody had ever heard a lot of that stuff before. If I was going to tell you to listen to an album, I would go back to Collective Soul's very first album, Hints and Allegations. And it was one that, and it was one that kind of got forgotten because it was their first one. And then when Shine came out later, and then they went and did their first album, they sort of took off from there. But I go back and I listen to Hints and Allegations all the time. And it's, if you know how it was done, if you know that that it was just kind of done in a basement. And Ed, who's the lead singer for Collective Soul, he often says it's his least favorite album because it's not a band structure. But yeah, I like all of the songs. You talked about that earlier. It's one that so he never put it together as an album. Most artists will put together an album that tell a story from the very first song to the 12th song or the 10th song. And you're right about that. This was kind of just a compilation of songs that he was trying to sell to the music industry. And but it is easily my favorite album. If I had to sort of would be the Beatles' Let It Be album or a Get Back album, that would probably my favorite albums of all time.
Okay.
Noted.
Yeah, noted. I'll take a look at
Yeah.
those.
That kind of gives me a question in my head. I was gonna ask a super basic question of what is your all-time favorite song that you'd want to hear one last time before yeah,
On
if
my
you
deathbed? Is that what
yeah,
you're
but I'm gonna make it because I know Grandpa Kevin, you have a lot of favorite songs, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
try and simplify it down to what's your favorite song. This might need a little time to think about, but what's your favorite song based on the story it tells with the lyrics?
uh, you know what? You probably won't believe where this is coming from. It is I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith.
You're gonna say the Pina Colada song.
Well, yeah, but Mason did say I've got a lot of favorites, but he said he was very clear. he was very clear about the lyrics. My favorite song using the lyrics, and yeah, that is pretty funny actually. Did I? Is that good enough?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
what about you? What about you guys? Like,
I have a good one.
okay,
oh,
Cheers.
So a song, uh, I would say Oldie Station by 21 Pilots. It's just like the meaning of it. It's just
go
like
into why.
super duper deep. So it's just like I'll just say what it's about. So it's kind of just like about like growing up and like enjoying the small things and that sort of thing. Um, so I just really think things like that are just like important in life, just to like enjoy the small things in life, because there's some things that you won't be able to appreciate again and that sort of thing. And I just really love that idea because like I know I'm still young, but there are like things in my life that I know I won't be able to experience again. So instead of just kind of like looking at it as something like simple in life, I'd rather look at it as like something more complicated than that, so then I could like appreciate it more, if
but it
that
can be
makes sense.
simple. Yeah, it can be simple though. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
I
But just
think
like
you also maybe touched on a theme for a different podcast.
Yeah, I think you did.
well, yeah, that's
That's
kind
your
of what I
answer.
do. It's my
Yeah,
answer because
that's who you are.
I just kind of just live life, go with the flow. But when I go with the flow, I also enjoy what's happening just because I know that um I'm very lucky to have the life I have, so I'm gonna take advantage of it.
And you get all of that from a song?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, see how deep the meanings can get with
Well, you're
lyrics.
not kidding. Holy man.
I mean, I feel like that song is definitely one of their deeper songs. But
But yet you said it was simple.
Yeah.
well, no, I didn't say it was simple. It's like to like enjoy the simple things in life sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's just like about
Yeah,
like growing up and all that
yeah.
sort of stuff.
Ooh.
Mason?
Right now, just off the top of my head, it might have to be another song from 21 Pilots, but it's Paladin Straight, and it's a song
Ooh.
about um choosing to face something instead of avoiding it. So it's like,
Mhm.
that kind of theme. And it's like a 7-minute song too.
Wow.
Yeah.
And some of the lyrics, it's just like, man.
Okay, Jer, what's yours, Jer?
Oh man, I've been trying to think about this for the last 5 minutes. I'm not too
You
sure.
still can't come up with one.
Oh, I can't. It's too many. Um,
What's a song that you listen to and you like are listening to the lyrics and go like, wow, I just really love the meaning of that.
Uh, man, I don't know. I could go with a couple.
Well,
I
there you
wouldn't say
go.
this. Okay, wait. I wouldn't say that this is my favorite song, but it's a song that I appreciate the meaning.
Yes, that's a good point.
It's called "Best Day Ever" by Mac Miller.
Ooh,
That one's
I
good.
actually like that answer.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but I can appreciate the meaning. I like the
Mhm.
meaning. It's just you know, uh, treat. I wouldn't say treat every day like it's the best day ever, but definitely have that mindset. Like go into the day being like, this is gonna be one of the best days, and kind of live it like it's your last.
I
And,
definitely that's like
Memento
even,
that.
mori.
even when the times are down, live life to your fullest.
I love that.
You know what? I love the spontaneity of this though, as opposed to just having a bunch of questions and answers already predetermined,
Yeah.
because you've sort of put people, not only put them on the spot, but it makes them think.
Yeah.
You have to say like I'm learning a lot about you guys just through the music, right? Just through this discussion, because with our age difference, you'd think, well, when my grandpa was 70 and I was 20, he didn't have a clue about nothing about me. So, and we cannot say that as a family, can we? But
No.
our music is so important, but it's also it's so defining for us. We have a lot of the same interests. We're not afraid to share them, sing the songs,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
when people look at us cross-eyed and go, "You guys really shouldn't be up there singing." We really don't care, do we?
No, that does
That's
not
what
stop me.
being in Knox is about.
Exactly.
Knox Watts.
Knox Watts.
I do have a good question, like another pretty good question. It is kind of broad though, but what is it about music that is just like that's so special? Like why do you like music at like a deeper level?
Why do
And
we like music?
yeah, I could go first just so then you guys kind of get an idea of what I'm trying to say. But the one of the big reasons why I really enjoy music is that it just like it's one of the only things that like we have that could bring pretty much anyone together. Like throughout history, music has just like it's been able to easily bring people together and just like make people have fun, feel different emotions, dance, that sort of thing. And I don't know
This is
why, there's
deep.
just something really special about it that I really like.
That's a good statement.
Yeah.
That's deep.
It's ingrained in my blood. That's why. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You were born with
It
it.
is. I mean, we went through the history of it already back to 1960, didn't we? So
Yeah.
we know
Yeah.
where it started. We know where the seed started. But I think I touched a little earlier on it too, Hayden, is I think it is the one vehicle that brings people together more than
Mhm.
sports or music or not music, movies, I mean, politics. Music, the whole idea behind music as a troubadour from 1,000 years ago was telling stories and delivering
Mhm.
messages, right? And artists, that's what they do, is they spill their guts out to you in ways that you can't do, or a lot of us can't do. I don't say you, but there is meaning in every song, and I'm sure that a lot of us can identify with exactly the same song. Like when we're going around and sharing what our favorite album is, or our favorite band, or our favorite singer,
Mhm.
because this is a music podcast dedicated to music, we're talking about stuff that we could talk about outside music too. But the reality is we all have a different interpretation of what our favorite song, partially because of, the age difference, but also just because that's what music is about. It draws different people to different songs. And I don't judge somebody for being a country fan or a Pavarotti fan or a jazz or rap. I mean, I personally think rap music is the hardest thing to do. And when I watched 8 Mile, I'm just amazed that they can tell a story instantly. They haven't thought about it or written it down in a studio, but they've lived it. Everything they talk about is something they've lived. So, I think we could all interpret the same song different ways, but that's the beauty of music to me. And it's kind of simple. If you ever get a chance, if you haven't watched the Get Back tapes from the Beatles doing the Get Back album, and one of my favorite songs at the time, it still is Get Back. How hard it was to write that song. You've got 4 of the most talented musicians in the world, and it took them days and days and days and days to write every song, which is good, but it sort of, they're very complex people, and some guys can sit down and can write a song in 10 or 15 minutes that's just as popular as the guy that just spent 2 years writing that song. So anyway, to answer your question, music does bring everybody together, but what really brings people together is that picture you've got on the screen of palm trees in the ocean. I forgot why we were here.
Oh, now I was gonna say not exactly what Grandpa Kevin said, but the lyrics, like, music makes you feel things that you wouldn't otherwise be able to feel without it. Like, there's and it makes you how am I trying to
It's like a
word this
special
here?
emotional connection.
It conveys emotions that you wouldn't be able to say yourself, and the music, brings that out of you, I think, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, you feel like the music, the lyrics, you just feel very deeply with some songs.
So you're just able to easily emotionally connect to different songs.
Yeah, it brings out lots of emotions. You can be dancing to one song and then crying to the next, just from a beat and some lyrics.
I like that.
So that's the end of this Music Talks episode. Next Sunday morning, we'll be talking about, it's story time. We'll be going through each of our life stories, funny stories that changed us for better or for worse.
Life
Who
lessons.
knows? Life lessons. But that's the end of today's first episode of Watts Table Talks. Still up in the air for the name. But yeah.
That's it.
Watts Table Talks. That's it. That's the name of the
Perfect.
podcast.
That's it.
That's it.